Yeah, because they got, well, Jack's back, so let's try him again. Let's see if this works.
Come on, Jack.
Hey,
Can you hear us now?
yeah, I hear you now. I'm actually on my phone right now. I don't know what's going on with my laptop. I got two laptops out. Uh, neither one, neither one of them pulling it up. I really apologize. I was trying to it wasn't working. So anyhow, you want me to tell you about Black Robe Regiment, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. Well, first off, let me say this: most people don't even give account to how our nation began. And before there even was a Black Robe Regiment, there was a country seeking God. When they left Europe to come to the United States, when they came to Plymouth Rock, when they came to the harbor, they formed the Mayflower Compact, and they were still on the ship. They didn't pick, just like the top-notch people. They had the lowest person on the ship along with the top person on the ship. They came together and they came up with the Mayflower Compact. And what that did, it included three things. They wanted to glorify God, they wanted to further the gospel of Jesus Christ, and they wanted to form a government. Now, you got to know if the first two things were what they were. The government they wanted to form wanted to be a government based on Judeo-Christian. So you go from the middle 1600s to like the maybe early 1700s. By then, a lot of things have changed in America. People have got over here, they got settled, they kind of forgot God a little bit. And you have what's called the first Great Awakening. George Whitefield, people like that. And it breaks out, and they began to go around the country preaching, getting your heart right with God, but they also start talking about the ills and the evils of government. And they start attacking the British, crown. And so
Hmm.
it's just that the government gets mad, they start sending troops over. And that's when they start living in other people's houses. They start boarding in homes without the person's permission. And over in England, what they saw it as, they called it the Presbyterian Rebellion. That's when they called it the Black Robe Regiment, because they were saying that the clergy in the robes were the ones that were causing the problems that they were having. And so, as time goes by, they begin to fight. But the preachers are very instrumental in all of this. I grew up in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and there was a Presbyterian church on Broad Street in Elizabeth. And there's a big plaque there to a Reverend James Caldwell. This is a guy who, when he preached his sermons, he preached from the pulpit with two big handguns sitting on the pulpit next to him in case the British came in. And what he does is he's up there encouraging his people to fight. There's a town called Springfield near there, and there's a real big battle there. And what's going on is they're running out of wadding for their guns. So he runs back to the church and grabs the hymnals, and he throws them to the guys. There was a songwriter named James Watt, and he says to the guys, give them Watts to pull the pages out and use it as a wadding in their guns. But what eventually happens, the British come to his home, and they see a figure through a window, and they fire and they shoot. What they did is they killed his wife and his baby. And so
Hmm.
that only doubled down on his efforts. And eventually, one of them told him they would help him get cleared with the government. While they were taking him there, they killed him. But this is only one. I think the one, like I got to see if I can get a better view of better view of this uniform. Uh, there was a case in the state of Virginia. If you go to the state capitol, you see a statue of Peter John Muhlenberg. He was a pastor down in Virginia. And one Sunday, he's up in the pulpit and he's preaching from Ecclesiastes 3. And he's telling them there's a time to be born and a time to die. And he goes all through that. And he comes to the time where he says there's a time for peace and time for war. And when he does, he just pulls off the black clergy robe and he's got a uniform like this. And he marches down the stairs off the platform. He already had a drummer positioned outside the church drumming. And he said to the men, it's time for war. His entire congregation get up and they follow him, out of the building to go off to battle. Now, he ends up, if you look up his name, he ends up being one of the greatest generals that General George Washington had. He fought with him side by side. He was there actually at the end of the war when the Americans won, when the British surrendered. But throughout the whole United States, pastors got up in the pulpit. They preached against taxes. They preached against the king being evil. They preached against the injustices of the crown. Now you come forward to today, and what do you have today? You got a bunch of you got pastors in the pulpit that are more concerned that they don't lose a few congregants. A lot of people say they're worried about losing a 501c3. No church has ever lost a 501c3. They're worried about the tithers that put $500-600 in a week, and they don't want to lose that money.
Mhm.
Years back, George, you remember we used to do Pulpit Freedom Sunday. The
Right, yeah,
Alliance,
power to purse. Yep, we did that. Yeah.
yep, the Alliance Defending Freedom would back us to record sermons that violated the Johnson Amendment, and we would send them into the IRS and challenge them to take us to court. Now, and all the time that happened, they never took a single one to court. And it's because if you go back, like I said, with some of the history I'm giving you here, if you go back through our history up until like let's say the early 1900s, maybe 1930, up until then, the church was like, there's a little book that they used to use in teaching in our schools called the New England Primer. And it's a little book that you learn the alphabet, you learn math, you learn everything by using scripture. Now that was in the United States right up to 1960, and then suddenly when Madeline Murray O'Hare came along and ones like that, they shut it all down. But until pastors man up, I know there's another phrase, I won't use it, but until the pastors man up, we're going to have this problem in our country.
Yep. I agree. What was the pastor that they arrested because of the mask and stuff? What was it? The one in Tampa. We went to that church.
Howard Brown.
Yeah, Howard Brown. That's right.
And what he did, he had put in $100,000 worth of equipment to clear the air building on a 24-hour basis. But our sheriff here in Hernando County, his men actually were the ones that went out and arrested him. But it was Chad Clomeister down there in Hillsborough, who actually put out the warrant for his arrest. He's the only one that got arrested, and then that whole thing came to a halt.
Yeah, because he was very powerful, and that's what they don't want. And that was under the direction of Governor DeSantis too.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff. I mean, when you look at the First Amendment's very clear. The government can't make one religion the religion, but they also can't stop you from practicing your faith, and that's what they did with COVID. They stopped people from practicing it.
Well, they were all confused between the what do you call it, with the church and state. With the thing, it was to stop the government to go into churches, not that the churches couldn't do what the government says.
Oh, exactly. People don't know that whole thing came about by Thomas Jefferson when the Danbury Baptists sent him a letter, and they were concerned, that they were not that the government was gonna interfere, and Jefferson sends back. He says, no, there's a wall that separates the government from the church that the government can't violate. And when people say to me, well, no, I don't believe that. Thomas Jefferson used to go to church in the U.S. Capitol, and he used to use the Marine Band as a worship team in service. So you got to ask yourself how that took place. Guys saying there's a separation of church and state.
Yeah. Well, you bring that up with the separation of church and state too. Look what happened in Minneapolis when those people stormed that church. I think the pastor there should have been a little bit more assertive myself, but he handled it okay. But these people that they interfered, that should be going to jail for that.
Exactly. I think it was the shock. I mean, I tried to put myself in a spot. Now I used to carry a 9mm right inside my jacket, but I can't imagine what the people thought. Suddenly these people are screaming at them. You don't know weapons. Every one of them, including Don Lemon, that was trespassing. It was disturbing the peace. I mean, there is no First Amendment right to violate somebody else's First Amendment right.
Well, yeah. Plus, you could argue too that they were preventing them from worshiping, which is totally against the Constitution. So you're violating their constitutional rights by walking into that building to begin with.
Exactly, and unfortunately, the way things are going, I see them give him a slap on the so, and George knows with General Flynn. General Flynn's been calling it out. If we start putting some of these people in jail, we're never going to this government.
They need, actually, in my opinion, I think they need to wipe out most of the House and most of the Senate and get rid of all the people that have been there for so long and bring all new blood in. They really do, and fresh ideas, and just get rid of the old guard, because these people are all compromised.
And I'll make people mad maybe, but I believe you have to be American born, and you cannot be of the Islamic faith, because Islam is not compatible with the Judeo-Christian
It's on the book.
Yep.
Who was the one that repealed that law, George? Do you remember? It was before it was a law. They couldn't.
It was what about them serving the office? Bush, the old Bush. Yep. In 1991, 92. They reversed that, and that was put in there by, I think, Jefferson put that in when, especially after what happened with the.
For AAA.
Yeah, AAA, right? That's why. So that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the thing that was great, what Jack was saying, is about how powerful the Black Robe Regiment was, and because of the Roman Christianity, or the Judeo Christianity.
I almost did
that's why. Yeah, well, that's why France came, because they were pissed off at England.
Yep.
France helped us out, and even the American Indians did too, to fight against the British.
Yeah, I mean, the whole, if you Google Christian quotes of the founding fathers and read them, there's nobody in this world that can read those quotes and not realize we were founded Christian nation. Mm-hmm. Even in the Constitution, it talks about nature and nature God. Well, who is nature's God? Is it Judeo-Christian God of the Bible?
Yeah, they came up with the God-given right. For us to make our own decisions and stuff. So
yeah. Well, and until that changes, and I'll tell you this, let me go back to 1982. I was in my senior year in college, and I passed through a church that I started, and I prayed at the graduation for the public school, and the next school board meeting they banned prayer at the school. So it was like I started running then, but I've had trouble, George, all of the years with trying to get pastors. They always have a million excuses. I found out with our church, we became stronger. The longer I was at the last church, 22 years, we might have had like 40% conservative when I started, and it was like 99% conservative when I left. You got to preach the truth in love, and love isn't always easy. Love can be tough.
Yeah, turn the cheek ain't happening anymore for me.
No, people misuse even verses like that, though, Joe. They'll either say God is love. They say, yeah, well, what about the right judgment? What about the goats and the sheep being separated? They don't want to talk about any of that.
Well, that's what the Methodist Church did when we went down to in St. Petersburg. They changed all the verses so they could make it adaptable about being gay and stuff like that.
Yeah. So. A funny story. I was in college. I was the editor of the yearbook. I had never heard of the Metropolitan Community Church. It's the gay church, but I didn't know that. So I get an ad from a guy who's representing the Metropolitan Community Church, put in the yearbook. And it's like, Zion's a great school, blah, blah, blah. And I give it to the advisor, and the advisor throws it at me. I said, what do you do? And he said, do you know who they are? And I'm like, no idea. He said, that's the gay church. Okay, we'll pull that ad. Yeah. But I mean, if you go down Mariner Boulevard, there's Church of Christ, and the sign outside big with the rainbow flag. Everybody's welcome here. That's an abomination of God. A gay person is welcome in a church, but they're not welcome to bring their lifestyle into the church. If they want to come and listen to the gospel and find Jesus and turn their life around, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I got a thought on that gay pride flag, though. It's like, if they're allowed to fly it, if they get permission to fly it, just like we fly the American flag, shouldn't we have permission to be able to burn it just like they burn the American flag?
Actually, yeah. I mean, but you know what would happen. Well, although things are changing a little bit, they just canceled the thing because they didn't have enough funds. So maybe just maybe enough people realize go.
Yeah, you're breaking up a lot, Jack.
Sorry about that.
No. It's not. It's just what do you call this? Just speak a little bit slower. Not that you have to say wrong, but just you speak a little slow. No, I'm just saying it's because of the way the phone works. That you're not, it doesn't pick up all the words.
It's got it noise cancels out when you're walking around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never done this on the phone. This was a last ditch effort. I felt so bad. I saw it coming up and I couldn't get sound. And then I could get video, but I couldn't hear you and I speak. And
Hey, we're just glad you grabbed the phone and to do this. We appreciate it so much. Everybody was looking forward to it.
I figured you never asked back again if I didn't do something.
Oh, you're going to come back.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know. Huh?
I said that happens to us too. We got with problems with all of a sudden you're depending on the computers and stuff like that. And all of a sudden it does something stupid.
Yeah, technology's not your friend.
Mm-hmm.
That one thing I learned in ministry, you be ready at all. I think Jesus had it right. He used to push out in a boat into the water and speak to the people on shore with no sound equipment. He might have had it down right.
Yeah.
I wish we could kind of do some of that kind of stuff without technology, but it sure wouldn't work. But this is our only way, of trying to make a difference and talking about this kind of stuff, and so that people know and are aware of what's going on, because there's so much going on behind the scenes with the administration we got now. I mean, I love Trump, but we want accountability on some things. And I think being a Christian-based, Judeo-Christian-based nation, we expect that, because what does God say? Vengeance is for the Lord, or whatever, a retribution. But we want to see it. So
Well,
we're human.
He says righteousness exalts a nation. If we're not acting righteously, our nation's lifted up. And when you still have people like Brennan, Clapper, and Cody, McCabe, all of them still walking free, there's if I did half of what they did, I'd be in prison for the rest of my life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're talking about Brennan too. There's just more subpoenas that went out related to that Florida case too. So they're digging deeper now too. So I think I can't remember who the other people. There was, I think, 2 more along with Brennan that got more subpoenas.
Yeah, I think COVID affected Democrats different than Republicans. I think it ate their brains.
Yeah, I think so too.
But when I almost hate going on X anymore, because you see all of these things. Wasn't Joe Biden a better president than Donald
Trump? Please. You thought they even put that on they even put on TikTok that same shit.
Yeah. Wasn't Mikey Obama prettier than come on.
Well, we did you see we brought up a thing yesterday about the letters that they all received in the church?
Yeah.
Remember when all the letters? And, the one that Michelle got says, "Well, we know you're Mike."
Yeah, you know what? I just wish somehow that whole thing she'd get caught. It would get caught. My daughter gets mad at me because I show her all the videos where she's dancing and you see a penis.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, Dad, that's not true. I said, yeah, it's true. Look at the pictures of the guy Michael that they talk about. It's exactly the same. If you look at Michelle from the back, she's got linebacker's shoulder.
That's what I said yesterday. Her shoulders are so big compared to her head. The proportion is so far out. It's not feminine at all.
Well, my wife does this thing that a man's hand, the finger lengths are different than a woman's. And she'll look at pictures of Michelle's hand. She'll say, look, it's a guy. Like she'll have me hold my hand up and compare them. It's the same. It's the guy. We're going to find out one day that he wasn't really an American. And we're going to find out that she wasn't really a she.
One of the guys I got in that group, right, calls me up and he says, George, I can't get my birth certificate. I said, what do you mean you can't get your birth certificate? He says, I was born in Hawaii. I said, yeah, and he says, I was born the same year Obama was supposed to be born. So they closed the vaults down with all the certificates. I had to hook him up with somebody from Trump so they could get his birth certificate out of Hawaii because Obama not locked it down because to show the evidence that he wasn't there or was there, whatever the hell it was,
yeah.
until he got it. So
Yeah,
but,
social security guy
yep.
in Connecticut.
hmm But it's terrible. It's just it's all what's straight. Like we spoke about this a long time ago, Pastor Jack. We had all the conversations we had that all this shit was happening, and we just didn't want to believe that it was happening because the way we were brought up and with family values and stuff like that. And then all the bullshit comes out, and that's what happens. So
Yeah, it's sad to watch. It's like what I'm done.
yep, yep, agree.
Yeah, if you to the Capitol building, go in and you'll see that statue that I was telling you about of Peter John Muhlenberg. The funny thing with him was his brother Frederick was also a pastor, and when Peter John began to become more involved with the war, Frederick sent him a letter saying, you're a pastor, you should be doing it. And then a few months later, they burned Frederick to the ground, and he joined with the Black Robe pastors.
Yep.
He actually became the first Speaker of the House in the United States. So sometimes you don't know until you've been the one that's been burnt.
Yeah, well,
People
the
see.
thing is we like you're saying, it's so important about, and that's the biggest I mean, with the churches and everything else, that's where you can reach the people. And if we don't reach those people, especially evangelicals, we're not the biggest group to go out and vote.
Yeah.
And so gun owners too.
Well, and the big thing with that, George, I always felt as a pastor, if I'm not informing my people of what I see violates God's word, I'm not doing my job. And when you have it that a pastor is afraid to speak on abortion or afraid to speak on homosexuality, he doesn't deserve to be in the pulpit anymore. God calls it an abomination.
Right.
Yeah. The New Testament says there'll be no homosexual believers in heaven. I try to tell people, I said, if your house is on fire and I rush up to your house and yell it's on fire and try to get you out, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help you.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing is they don't realize like Olstein there and everything else, the congregation that he has and everything else. He's got to be punished really severely with God, by God, because it says right in the Bible, if you start, if you guide my sheep and you guide them wrong, you'll be big trouble on that one.
Yeah. Well, it says those that are instructed with teaching the word will be held doubly accountable. That's not that when I stand before God, I've already forgiven my younger. I want to have.
I got the express going down.
No.
I got so many people on the list. Let me tell you.
No.
And you know who my first priorities are.
I could think.
It starts with a letter M.
Oh, I was thinking of somebody else.
Oh, those people. That's besides the point too. But that's other. That's it.
There's one me.
Oh, you know my list. But you know what happens? Other people, I have a list, and then the other ones start going on the bottom of the list. Then I got the top priorities that I have to hit. So that's what I try to not avoid, but to do.
Do you think they're going to come out with more of the arrests and everything closer to midterms to mess up the elections, or do you think that they're just dragging their feet?
I have kind of thought that there might be. Trump always has a strategy, and I kind of had the feeling that they were going to let something big explode close enough to it to like really give the Democrats a black eye. I get tired of turning on TV and hearing that the economy is terrible and I'm paying $2.60 for gas. I was paying $3.49 when Biden was in.
Mhm.
I'm tired of the lies. I mean, if you look at them, if you turn on the news and you switch channels one right after the other, they're using the exact same wording.
Yeah.
It's like up in the morning and mails them an email and tells, here's the word.
Yeah.
The,
They
the
did.
other,
You can always tell what the word of the day is when you watch the news, what they got.
the,
Well, now
the
they got two. Now they got two subjects, right? Now they have Nancy, and now the prince, and then now the whole thing is somebody. Oh, somebody donated extra money to find a. It's amazing how they're looking for the pacemaker. I mean, we got so many other people missing. We got kids missing and everything else like that. It's amazing how much the attention is put on this single case.
It's a good distraction, George.
Yep.
It keeps you away from knowing that Trump's meeting with all those people right now on the peace board. It keeps
Mhm.
you from knowing good things that are going on, and God forbid when something goes down in Iran, they're going to go off the rails. But
Oh yeah, everything.
I can only hope it's as successful as Venezuela was, and just shuts them all up.
Yeah. I seen that they were moving more ships in and everything too, but they were saying a possible strike this weekend. But then there was some talk. I heard something about the middle of March too. So I guess
One thing is that they're not going to tell you exactly when they're going to hit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but no. What I'm saying is, the whole thing is, oh, the peace talks are going in, and not ever. He knows Iran's are the biggest piece of shit and biggest liars.
Mhm.
They do not hold up any promise. They're looking at their as, and the only thing Trump is doing is planning his strategy exactly how he's going to hit these people, because they killed 50,000 people. Besides that, maimed them, cut their legs off, their hands off, their arms off, took their eyes out, and then the main news media, the fake news media, ain't covering it at all. They're not saying one thing about it.
They don't want you to think that Trump is over government's all.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how the people there want Islam out, and we're inviting them in. We common sense. It's unbelievable.
Well, look up in Minneapolis, okay? What they're missing, like 15 billion or something like that.
Mhm.
The eye should be on that, not on ICE. But they did another.
Yeah, 19. It's up to 19 billion in Minnesota, 76 billion in California, and they don't want to give the receipts of the Democratic states to the administration at all, because they want to check out where the money's going. And then what do you call? Dr. Oz found out how many millions of dollars are going to illegals on the what do you call on Medicare and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're draining our taxes. I held for years things like Obamacare were really getting a lot of money that nobody knew where it went, and this way they out to all of the groups.
well, you heard what she said. You got to read it before you see it and stuff.
Oh yeah, Nancy Pelosi. You got to pass the bill so you can see what's in the bill.
Yeah, that was.
Well, she'll be gone. Mitch will be gone.
Well,
She's so awful. Did you see her at the latest interview? She was drunk.
Yeah, she's always drunk. So was Kamala.
Yeah, always. It was happy hour. Wherever Nancy Pelosi goes, it's happy hour for Pickles.
Yeah.
Pickles Pelosi. That's USN's name for her.
The big mistake Donald Trump did, President Trump did, when she ripped out those papers behind his back, he could have arrested her and put her in jail for ripping up the government papers
that
the president wrote.
The problem is, George, they have created a bad image of him that anything he does, they immediately scream dictator.
Yeah.
If anybody else were in, they would do what should be done, would be lauded for it, but he gets beaten for it.
It's just unbelievable. I don't think he could, like everybody says, he could cure cancer and still what he called, and it still wouldn't be found anything, like
they would blame him for hurting the medical. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I like when I was talking before too. Go on now, and you listen to the Canadian. I and my Canadians talking about how great the premier is, and he's a new world leader. I'm thinking the guy is a loser.
You know, the whole thing is, isn't it funny that the Canadians come down here for medical surgery and all that stuff?
Yep, because it's better service.
Yep.
Social don't work.
Well, the
Oh.
whole thing is like in Italy, not Italy, but these other countries that have social medicine and stuff like that. They go if you're like say if you're 86 and you need a bypass, you go to the bottom of the list.
Yeah,
because you're not.
because you're old, and you're probably going to die sooner. So
That's their figure.
yeah. We've got a lot of straightening out to be done in this government. I still believe, wrong, but I still believe that there are a lot of bad people and deep in the government that we have rooted out. They're constantly passing information along to us.
Yeah.
Well, Schiff is the biggest one, Adam Schiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone in the chat has any questions for Pastor Jack? You want to ask? I'll put it out to him.
I've got to send you a couple of videos, George. Maybe sometime.
I saw that video you did. That last one's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just every day when I get hit with a different subject, I just right.
Well, I could, if you want to keep talking, George, I can bring that up right now. I think.
What? Oh,
that's
Oh yeah, cool.
Let me see if I can download it off the text. Just keep talking.
I'm talking.
Or I'm going to keep talking. And you don't want me to keep rambling.
Oh yeah, but listen, I got them things I'll put up Monday about what they're trying to do. There's the Sons of Liberty.
Yeah,
they're getting organized. There's the Patriots of America. They're getting organized. There's a lot of groups out there that are getting organized, and I think if accountability isn't done soon, I think there's going to be a big march on Washington.
Well, there needs to be, and unfortunately, they'll probably try to turn it into, look, it's just like J6 all over again. And, J6 was such a setup by the Democrats.
Yep.
Milley was involved, Pelosi was involved, Mayor Bowser was involved, the DC police were involved. And you're looking at guys whose lives were ruined by the time they spent out because of what was done to them.
There was some, Jack, wasn't there some black robe regiments that were created in some of the states that were starting to do that? Wasn't there doing that something? Remember that guy we saw in the church that did the whole presentation of the black robe regiment?
Yeah.
Didn't he say that they were starting to create? I'm talking about this is like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the Black Robe Regiment page on Facebook, but I've been involved probably since 2006. But there's groups that are getting built up because of what's going on in our country, and more pastors are getting bold enough to speak out.
Well, I used to go to the Catholic Church on 19. I used to go there and pack, and I used to stand by the door because remember when the crazy people started coming out and shooting up the churches. But then I asked the deacon there, I said, how come you're not preaching anything about what's going on about abortion? Nothing. He says, we can't. We can't. Well, I said, you know what? You can't see me. You ain't gonna see me coming back into this door. That's why you ain't gonna see me anymore because that was it.
Well, and the irony is nobody has been stronger on pro-life than the Catholic Church. I mean, I'm a Protestant, but the Catholics have shamed us for that. I'd say that they could.
Oh, he's rolling.
No, he's still there.
Oh, you there? Okay.
He's still moving.
I don't hear him.
There was a break in there. I can't download the song because it's a link. I have to have the direct song to be able to put it up.
I I can email you a couple of the videos. You may have a boring moment sometime where you want to throw it up, but
No, I'd love to throw
No,
them up.
the latest one. I made it here. The latest one. I downloaded and I sent it to her.
Yeah, I listened to it last night. It's really good. That's the one I was trying to bring up, but I can't. I have to bring it up, and then it has to go through Rumble and everything to come on here. I have to have the regular file to be able to do that. I don't have time to screen record it right now. But I don't know. We'd love to play it. We always get different things like that. We mix it up on here with different things with music and everything too, because it's a good thing to have. It makes everybody feel better.
have you had General Flynn on?
No, he promised so many times. I'm gonna have to threaten him.
Yeah, the last time he was supposed to be on, he canceled right at the last minute because he had to go to Washington.
Yeah, he has been pretty busy in D.C. He's been living there more than back here.
Yeah, well, I've been in contact with him. He texts me every once in a while.
His
I
brother
would tell him.
Joe would be
What?
his brother Joe would be another good choice.
Yeah. Joe's good. Yeah, Joe's good people. Yeah.
Right.
But like I want to get his future daughter-in-law. What's her name?
Defender of the Republic.
Yeah, Defender of the Republic. I reached out to him and said I'd like to have her on a show. He says he's gonna get back to me on that one. So we're waiting on that one. But she's very good. You know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call his son Michael and ask him because I tell him and he tells me and he just can't. When he puts up stuff, I said I just can't believe it. And he says I don't understand. He just doesn't understand. And they're afraid of him.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for a fact he's advising Tulsi, big time, and Pete, both of them.
Yep.
I know he's doing that. That's a fact. I mean, we were with him the day when he was on the phone with Trump about the bombing of Iran.
Yeah.
That he was getting advice from General Flynn about exactly how to approach it. And that was done.
I appreciate that he is willing to help somebody do more.
What'd you say? You broke up.
I appreciate that he's with President Trump, that he has to.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is that there's some people that are stopping him from being where he's supposed to go. I don't think. I mean, he's at Mar-a-Lago at all these other events that are there when he's there, Trump and everything else. But it's just that he's being. I know he's giving him information, but it's just that he's being. Again, I think he's got two poisonous people that I think guiding him the right way.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just that, it's just because you've been with somebody a long time. I mean, I know a guy for 56 years I was friends with, and then you tell me the wrong information. That's it. I'm gone with you. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, based on you.
Yep. So, my rule. So that's about it. Virginia Biden took the first place.
Yeah.
Well, we're just like we said, we have to keep on praying for this country because we got to get this accountability done. I mean, there's 78 million people voted for him, and he can't. There's a lot of talk with MAGA and a lot of people are upset with Bibi and it's just the shit that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to concentrate on getting these people behind bars. I mean, some people say that they're in Getmore already. There's clones out there. I know Biden was a clone. I know Biden wasn't Biden.
It came out in the files that Biden was executed in Gitmo in 2019, and that this is a dummy or something, or they said a mask in the files. I mean, why would they put that in the Epstein files unless it was true? I mean, they didn't redact it.
Has to be a mask because Biden was a dummy before then.
Yeah. You know what we used to call them? Pudding pants.
Yeah.
They had a thing on Hillary last night talking about her with Epstein, and Greg Gutfeld made a joke. He said the last time she saw Epstein, he was at the end of his rope.
Yeah,
that's the part I missed last night. I missed that one.
You hear what Tyra said?
Yeah.
You had Hillary on?
Yeah.
About her consuming about the children. You came out and said that?
Yeah.
And they didn't send it. It wasn't stopped or bleeped or nothing. So I don't know if you went over people's heads or what, but
yeah, I was surprised that Fox didn't cut that out because that's recorded ahead of time too. They had every opportunity to take it out.
Well, we we got to make sure he doesn't get commit suicide now after that one.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
both got felt tires.
I don't think anybody would believe it's committed suicide.
Mm-mm.
But there was another thing. The other one that they came out with, these assholes, these the people on the left turn around and says that the assassination on Trump in
Was
in
planned.
was planned.
Would you let anybody shoot at your ear? No.
Especially that kid. I mean, they got rid of the body already. They disintegrated the body, cleaned the whole area with bleach and everything else.
The FBI was hosing down the roof before the kid's body was cold.
Yep.
If you look back to, I always go back to the old identity movies. There was things done by our CIA back in the 30s where they actually messed people up so bad that they could get them to do anything they said. And when you see all of you look at the person that does it, they always have a crazed look in their eyes.
Yeah. Well, the kid, that MK Ultra, they got that thing that the CIA did with the brain things and stuff.
Yep.
Don't think these kids weren't nurtured from the beginning when they're kids. You know, the whole thing is. I mean, the kid was in a BlackRock commercial. And then he's on a BlackRock roof.
And they just happened to be in his classroom recording the day that he was there. You know, it's like
well, they look for kids that are mentally ill that are on medication and everything too. So you get somebody that's possibly trying to transition or somebody that has severe depression or learning disabilities, and they can find them that way. And then they work on them. And it's just like the GATE program that was done in the 70s. That's where they got a lot of the kids from. They would take them out of the classroom and put the headphones on them, give them the tones and everything to listen to. And they tried to get them, I guess, from my understanding, it was to disassociate yourself while you were so that you could do mind control with them. And they did it through doing like psychic tests and the tone stuff, but they also gave them a pink liquid to drink. And a lot of people think that whatever was in that liquid was something that psychologically affected them to make them more malleable. And that GATE program, I think it ended in the 90s, but it ran like from the very late 60s through the 90s in the school programs. And I know they picked out kids that had certain characteristics. So if you were a little bit smarter or you were more emotionally intelligent and everything, those are the kids they picked out to be able to work with. And there's people now that survived the GATES program that are coming out and talking about it, because the way they did it, you don't remember a lot of it until you would hear like a replica of that tone or something would trigger you, and then you would start bringing all those memories back. But the government, it can be very insidious when they want to do something like that. You know.
Hey, Jack, you're going to be out of town in 2 weeks, right? So we got to hit you when
yeah, I'm
coming back.
7th to the 14th. The wife and I are going on a cruise.
Okay, cool. All right, go enjoy
Very
yourself.
nice.
Yeah, and where you going, out of Tampa? Or you going out of Fort Lauderdale?
Going out of Miami.
Oh, cool. Those are the big ships. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy.
Southern Caribbean.
Make sure they have bacon on the cruise, because I took care of that one.
They have
Oh yeah.
Bewildered.
There were Muslims on the ship. They wouldn't have bacon on the buffet of the breakfast.
Oh,
I
man.
went nuts. I told the guy, I said, "Where's the bacon?" He says, "Oh, you got to request it." Request what? I went up to the captain. I said, "You got 4,000 people on the ship. You want to ride or what? Oh, just because you got 12 people on there? Are you out of your effing mind? Are you serious?"
Yeah,
And then the next day the bacon was there. But let me tell you something. I went up at lunchtime and I got a piece of pork. I touched every piece of food that was there. So they consumed it, whatever it was. So they ain't gonna see the 72 virgins.
I always said they ought to fly over the nation, break bacon. No.
Well, we're gonna have a burning, so I'll let you know. Where to go? What do you call it? The
Quran.
Yep. With bacon, and we got some pigs running around them too.
I don't know if you remember back several years, they had the Islamic guys come to that studio that the high school has by Springstead.
Oh yeah.
About how good Islam was, and the guy got up saying, Jesus never said he was God. And when they did the Q&A, they handed me the mic. I ate them up. I had out all kinds of verses. I said, "This is what Scripture says. Now you tell me what you're talking about." And he just shut up. The cops came over, took the mic from me, and walked me out of the building.
They kill the unbelievers. We don't kill the unbelievers. We welcome them in.
We pray.
Please. I read that book. Let me tell you, it's amazing how much. If you believe that book, you want Christians killed. You want Jews killed.
If you know anything about Muhammad, this is a guy that when he started out, he wrote it one time, and the Jews and other people made fun of him. And when they made fun of him, he went back and rewrote it and made it violent. So it's like he was a guy that
he went to the tribes. Yeah, he went to the other Muslim tribes. The other tribes, so that convinced them that he was right and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he was the biggest. He was the biggest pedophile and raped kids and people and killed.
And
that's why the Crusades came out.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, thanks again. I appreciate. And let us know when you come back.
And again,
enjoy your cruise.
Sorry for all the trouble.
Oh, you're good. All right, we'll see you. We'll see you. What, 4 weeks then?
Okay,
4 weeks?
good.
Yeah,
Okay, have fun.
The week after he gets back. We'll do the weekend.
Okay.
The week when he gets
Okay.
When he gets back, get in touch with me, Jack.
Okay, I will.
And don't listen to Hard. Listen to me.
George, stop.
The Godfather's always in control. All right, Pastor Jack. Say hello to the wife and everybody, okay?
So well. God bless.
All right, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. That was good. Too bad his mic was breaking up. He's very knowledgeable about that, the Black Gold Badger. And he's we had some fun with some of the people that decide to appear to, especially the schools that want to do these trips to the mosque to show the kids about how nice the mosque are, all dressed up nice and everything.
I loved his outfit today. I like that he wore that for us today.
Yeah, that's not a Confederate outfit. That was the outfit.
I didn't say it was Confederate. I just said he was going to have a. He was going to have a.
That's a colonial.
Say it 3 times, George. Colonial.
I can say that 3 times. You want me to say that? Anyway, but anyway, that was the actually military outfit that they wore during the Revolution with President George Washington.
I thought it was cool. So we were talking about the GATE program a little bit. That's going to be the wormhole next Wednesday is the GATE program. A lot of people want to know about it. So I know quite a bit about that. So that'll be my wormhole next Wednesday. And then tomorrow we got Frisky Friday. So it'll be the 4 of us.
Yep.